we're just going to start off with our news this morning really quick.
If you're tired of the same old news,
What more do you want?
I want the truth.
You're hearing it. Strap yourselves in, folks.
never fear.
What's the dealio?
Part of life is learning to let things go.
We've got news moms can use.
What was that name again? I missed that.
News moms can use.
Brought to you by Therapon Skin Health, helping moms have healthy, youthful-looking skin for 20 years.
Okay, we've got 3 pretty quick stories we're going to get to. This is News Moms Can Use, as the gentleman said, and we at Channel Mom pick our news stories based on what we think moms want or need to hear. Of course, we got to touch on Sandy. Read this morning that the death toll is up to 98.
Yeah, there's no way that's
No,
stopping there.
they think it's going to climb well over 100, unfortunately. The cost now is at $50 billion of what it's going to cost for cleanup, and that's going to be a burden of the American taxpayer.
All of us.
Yeah. 4.5 million customers in 12 states still without power. There are now enormous lines for gas, and I imagine rationing is soon to follow, and it's tough. It's very, very tough. This is a big crisis. This feels bigger to me than Hurricane Katrina. I'm sure it is.
I think it's a population issue.
Yeah, because it was such a dense population. Absolutely. Unfortunately, I was hoping never to have to read a story like this after the hurricane. In fact, I prayed that the children would be safe, but a mom has lost her 2 sons. This, according to the New York Post. Glenda Moore wailed uncontrollably after police showed up at her Great Kills home yesterday and delivered the grim news. Her sons, Brandon, 2 years old, and Connor, 4 years old, their lives ending in the murky water under debris and trees toppled by the storm. They are found about 20 yards apart. Here's what happened. Brandon and Connor were separated from their mother on Monday night as she frantically tried to lead them to safety away from raging floodwaters brought on by Hurricane Sandy. Moore's Ford Explorer had gotten stuck when she was separated from her boys, police said. She lives, I believe, on Staten Island, and she was trying to get away, and she was trying to go to Brooklyn, and so they hopped in the Ford Explorer. And when it got stuck, she got separated from the boys. Officials said that Moore became frightened when the storm hit, and she rushed out of the house, and that was why she was going to Brooklyn to get away from it all. But the SUV, which she had packed with a diaper bag, Halloween costumes, and decorations, stalled along, I'm not going to probably say this right, but Father Capodanno Boulevard as the street began to flood. After a panicked call to her husband, Damien, who was a city sanitation worker and who was in Brooklyn, after she called him, Moore grabbed Brandon and Connor and fled to the SUV, but the rising water caused her to lose her grip as the boys drifted helplessly out of reach. She tried to get help from neighbors, and nobody was available to help. So just very, very tough story. And I was hoping that that wouldn't happen to any parent. And unfortunately it has. You should see these boys. They're adorable. They're online. Also, Michelle Duggar is near and dear to our hearts on the Channel Mom Show. And she's been on a couple of times. If you don't know who she is, Michelle Duggar is the mom on 19 Kids and Counting. Has 19 children. She's hoping for a 20th. Anyway, she's a beautiful woman. She just is. She has fabulous values. Her kids seem to be impeccably behaved.
You're going to meet her.
I'm going to meet her next week. Thank you for promoting that. She speaks at conferences across the country called Hearts at Home. And Hearts at Home has invited me to come to their upcoming conference in Rochester, Minnesota, where I will be next weekend. So we will have a pre-taped show next weekend. And Michelle's going to be speaking at that conference. So she's a very neat lady. We have a cute little story about her. But please check them out, by the way, if you want to go to that convention. It's Convention for Moms. They love on you. You get to hear Michelle speak. Dr. Julie Slattery, I believe, is also speaking to give you some advice on raising your kids. Heartsathome.org. And I think it's hearts-at-home, right? I think that's what it is, .org. Pretty sure. So you can go check them out. I will be there. Michelle Duggar will be there. I'm excited to meet her. But for Michelle Duggar's 46th birthday, her kids had a huge and unexpected surprise for her on 19 Kids and Counting. They brought in her childhood friend, Cindy, to help give their mom a makeover. Cindy suspected that it had probably been 40 years since Michelle had tried a new look. I'm kind of, I guess I have sort of a new look, but I was saying the other day that I've had the same hair since high school.
I don't know how you can change it once you get to a certain, I don't know. You get to a certain length, you're like, yeah, this is good.
Well, but like variations in cut with that length.
Or your color.
And Michelle has very naturally curly hair. And so Cindy just went right to work straightening it. And she also cut off 8 inches of her hair.
She has a lot of hair. Long hair.
Yeah, she does. And so at least temporarily, her curls were straightened. They gave her a straightened look and it was short. It was actually, I thought, very cute. It brought out her face and I thought it was very darling. And she immediately had the reaction that she wanted it longer. And so did her husband, Jim Bob. He said, I like it longer.
Huh.
The kids liked it, of course, because she looked pretty hip.
Right.
You know, she's a little old-fashioned, which is fine, but she looked really hip, and she didn't like it at all. So she wore it to her birthday celebration, and then she immediately changed back.
Her hair will grow too. It'll grow.
Yeah, it will. But for the sake of her and her husband, she changed it back because they both said that they preferred it long. Okay, you can catch new episodes of 19 Kids and Counting, new episodes, because potentially they're still having children, and now her children are having children. And it's just it's an inspiring show because she's great at teaching you how to mother. It's on Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on TLC. Last little news item for you to listen up for. Certainly not least, though. The mobile mammography van. That's the MammoVan, they call it. It offers express mammos now. They do all kinds of wonderful things through St. Joe's Hospital here in Denver. They have a Merlot mammography and massage thing they do every couple of months.
I got to go.
I'm going to go next time. Yeah, absolutely. But this is the express van. So you can have a mammogram in 20 minutes, in and out, when this van comes to you. Just so you know, it's coming up November 9th from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. I think it's also co-sponsored by Channel 9 in town.
All day.
Yeah, and they're going to be at Great West Financial, which is off of Orchard Road in Greenwood Village. If you want to call just to find out a little bit more information, 303-318-3415, 303-318-3415.